2 races in one day. It's raining here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Then I will not read through the starting grid. I will just focus on getting this race underway. Master, Theo Torres in first, Jake Hughes, Jean-Eric Verne, Taylor Barnard, Jake Dennis, Abby Pulling, Sam Bird, Charles Keith, Sebastian Buemi, Jamie Chadwick, and Norman Mather, Antonio Felix da Costa, Jerome D'Ambrosio, Amy Alguersuari, Vincent Bottom, Lucas Debrassi, and Rubens Barrichello. Well then, here we go then, first round in FG Series. And FG Series is going in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brilliant start from Mauro Engel. And that is a magnificent way of starting off the championship. One cheering level. Nicky Brings race on Felipe Massa in first. And then as we watch these guys coming from the track here in Brazil, bit of a cheering in all. We see here, we are looking at Mauro This is Jean-Eric Verne. It's very hard to commentate over a new game, but of course, Formula Car Race 2024, thank you for being part of your development program. Very happy to see this get worked on in real time, this brand new spectator growth. As we look to, let's see who that is. We're watching Benson Button, coming in 17th position. And he's currently holding off Lucas Debrassi and Jerome D'Ambrosio, the two guys in those cars. And Rubens Barrichello from Honda can't really make the back of the pack. But up in front, Mauro Engel leading this race from Nick DeVries and Felipe Massa. All this top 3 that you'll ever see in the championship. Oh, that right there, that is Antonio Felix da Costa, and he's being held up by Sebastian Buemi. As we look back now, that is Mauro Engel still leading this race, coming under threat from Nick DeVries, Felipe Massa in the other Rocket Venturi car. Holding on to the 1-3 that they've finally got here in Brazil, raining quite heavily. None of these drivers actually on the wet weather tyres. Funnily enough, they're all on dry compound tyres, mediums and hards, and oh, that's a massive chunk! And that's Antonio Felix da Costa. Let's see if we can take a look at him. That is Antonio. And he's had a massive flip there. Still in this race, thankfully. But this is your race leader, currently. And he is leading the way here in Brazil, coming through the final few turns with Mauro Engel, followed by Nick DeVries and Felipe Massa fast as well, going to Mauro Engel there. As Abby Pulling on her debut to the Formula G Series, currently in 6th position, trying to attack Charles Keith and possibly even Jake Dennis ahead of her in that green or whether it's people car, trying to get past one of the 2 Lamborghinis ahead of her. Not quite able to do it quite yet. That's very deep from that turn. How much closer is she willing to get to the 2 Andretti's ahead of her? Not too close. Lifting right out. But we're looking now, I do believe, if I've got this right, these are the 2 Virgin cars of Sam Bird and Jaime Alguersuari. Alguersuari behind the number 22 of the teammate. That is now we're looking at Jake Hughes in the number 4. Very erratic the way this happens to be done. It's kind of like ADHD FEMC, if you get what I mean. But of course, lap 4 of 10. These laps are a lot slower than they do in the FEMC. The longer lap times, slower cars than in the Formula E Monoposto Championship. That's what we've got in the FCR, the Formula G Series. As we look to Felix Antonio Felix Acosta. Norman Nasso up ahead. If we can take a look at the Norman, doing his best to attack Jaime, trying to attack Sam Bird, and he has attacked him quite well, because now Bird drops to the back of the field. Very big shunts we've seen in there. Bird drops to last position, and that is Rubens Barrichello, and he is currently way ahead of guys 18th and below. So Holiday Future Dragon Racing currently running 13th and 18th. As we're looking at Norman Nassau in the number 15 car. Or the Nissan Nismo. You don't actually get onboard shots here, funnily enough, which is kind of why we don't use this for our intros. We use real life racing footage. But we're looking at Jake Hughes and teammate. And oh, that's a collision between the two McLarens there. The two McLarens of Taylor Barnard and Jake Hughes coming to that first. The chicane, the center S's, they've collided quite heavily. A lot less elevation with this layout than you see in the FEMC. None of the drivers at half race distance deciding to come into pit lane, oddly enough, despite the, arguably heavy rain we've got going on around here. I'm just saying, I would probably want to pit onto the inters. I would probably go on to intermediates currently. Because currently, Mauro Engel leading this race. He is 1 second ahead of the man you can see right there. That red Mahindra car of Nick DeVries, followed by Felipe Massa and Felix Rosenqvist. At half race distance, you can see they are definitely struggling out there. It's so wet. They've decided to start on dries. Sam Bird is actually the only man on softs. He may have pitted. I'm not too sure if he did. Let's take a look. He's coming out of pit lane. He did decide to come in, and he's come out on softs when it is raining. And he's hit the wall in the pits. This championship is the pinnacle of championships. As you can see, Mauro Engel and Nick DeVries down, Felipe Massa coming by. A lot of struggles coming through the pits. He's hitting the wall repeatedly. Comes out of the pits then. And he's a lap down as Sam Bird. Timing tower yet to update his position relative to Jerome D'Ambrosio, the man currently in 19th. But by all means, he is out of the hunt for a race win. Looking at here, Jerome D'Ambrosio, the man currently in 19th. That blue and black Dragon car. I'm going to have to get very used to these. As Rubens Barrichello fighting Antonio Felix Acosta. DS Automobiles having a much worse day today in the Formula G Series compared to the Formula E Monoposto Championship. If all the races are like this, we might actually have to drop the FP Series. There is nothing I can say about this apart from yeah. 3 laps left to go here in Brazil. Mauro Engel leading this race for Venturi, followed up by Nick DeVries in that Mahindra, and then the home driver Felipe Massa, who has won this race in Formula 1. I wonder what happened the last time he won in Brazil. Can't be too important, as Lucas Di Grassi fighting with Sebastian Buemi. Hopefully we can take a look at that fight for 13th. Here it is. These two have fought for 2 championships in Formula E in real life, but here in the Formula G Series, they go side by side. Going into turn number 5. And that is still Lucas Di Grassi ahead, fighting over 12th. Button currently in 11th, with Abby Pulling trying to get her first points of the season, as that is Abby Pulling. Currently right behind both Andressis, as she has been throughout this entire E3. Struggling to try and find her way past as either one of them. And it is currently just looking like it's going to stay 10th for her. Jerome D'Ambrosio still seemingly perpetually in last position of those on the lead lap. Still. looking at Jerome D'Ambrosio still. We're on lap 8 of 10, 2 laps left to go. But this man, Mauro Engel, started on pole and he's really just been sprinting away from there. It is, of course, a Monegasque driver driving for a Monegasque team, Mauro Engel, and he's doing all he really can and should do in that Venturi car, the number 44 he drives. There's a level of expertise that you're going to get out of these cars, and I think that's what Venturi have found. As Jean-Eric Vergne currently still in 7th, JQ still ahead of Taylor Barnard. The top 10 have not really changed in quite a bit. Not as much battling for position as you've seen in the FEMC up front, but you can see further back, that is Jamie Chadwick. If we missed getting past Norman Nadeau. As, yeah, that is Jamie Chadwick we were looking at. This is Norman Nadeau we're looking at now. As we're on the penultimate lap of the E3. As, yeah, that's very sloppy from Norman. He's dropped down to 15th position. Norman Nadeau in these cars not really enjoying his time in Nissan currently, but this man, and Jerome D'Ambrosio, he's probably enjoying it a lot less. This man's having a lot of fun in a Venturi car. Venturi having a brilliant weekend so far. Hopefully they can stick to the landing with a 1-3 finish. And after, I don't really know why Sam Bird came in to make a pit stop. It was very unnecessary. This is Sam Bird right behind Jean-Eric Vergne. And yeah, looking at, I believe this is Felix Acosta. This is Felix Acosta. It's very hard to tell which one it is. On the final lap here in Brazil. Mauro Engel leading the way from Nick De Vries and Felipe Massa, your top 3. It's been a lot less I could have said about the racing here today. No pit stops, even though there probably should have been. Apart from the one Sam Bird had almost grazing the wall, the top 2. De Vries is actually closing in. I think Nick De Vries might actually have a very good chance of winning the Sao Paulo E3 today. If he can just close in and up, he's right on the back of Mauro Engel, who's led from lap 1 all the way to the final lap of the E3. It's all about whether or not now can Nick De Vries try and get past. We're in the final few turns here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. How is Nick De Vries going to play this? Is he going to try and get past, or is he going to hold position? And I think we know our answer now. It's been a pretty alright start to a new championship. Nothing compared to the starts of both the FDMC and the BDS Formula 1 Championship. We're rounding out the final turn now. It's going to be Mauro Engel who wins the Sao Paulo E3 from Nick De Vries and Felipe Massa. Then it's Felix Rosenqvist, JQ's your top 5. Mauro Engel got a fastest lap on lap 2, so that's an extra point to him. Taylor Barnard 6th, Jean-Eric Vergne 7th, and it's Jake Dennis 8th, Charles Pick 9th, Abby Pilling 10th, your top 10. In the drivers and constructors standings, whoops, that's practice mode. I'm still getting used to this. This is a different game, of course. Engel leading the way from De Vries, you know this. Venturi leads the way on 41 points from Mahindra and McLaren TGR. Then it's DS Automobiles tied with Andretti and Aurelio Pinnacle in 6th. We'll see you guys next time then when the Formula G Series returns in Mexico City.